In the quaint town of Braunau am Inn, Austria, on April 20th, 1889, a child was born who would change the course of history. This child, named Adolf Hitler, was born into a modest family, his father a stern civil servant, and his mother a devoted homemaker. As a young boy, Hitler had dreams not of politics or power, but of becoming an artist. His aspirations were met with disappointment when his father passed away and his mother could not afford to send him to art school. Left alone and penniless in Vienna, Hitler struggled to make ends meet. These hardships formed the crucible in which his fiery ideology was forged. The death of his parents, the rejection from art school, and the struggle for survival all played a role in shaping the man who would become a dictator. Hitler's early life was filled with hardships and disappointments, shaping a man who would later hold the world at his mercy. As the world was recovering from the shock of World War I, Hitler found his calling in the political landscape of Germany. The war had left a deep impression on him, shaping his nationalist and anti-Semitic ideologies. He believed that Germany was betrayed by its leaders, and he vowed to restore its honor. In 1919, Hitler joined the German Workers' Party, a small political group that shared his nationalist and anti-Semitic views. He quickly emerged as a charismatic leader, captivating audiences with his powerful speeches. His influence within the party grew rapidly, and by 1920, he was its leader. He renamed the party to the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or the Nazi Party, as it's more commonly known. Hitler's political ideology, combined with his charisma, resonated with many Germans who felt disillusioned and betrayed by the Treaty of Versailles. With a charismatic persona and a knack for public speaking, Hitler quickly rose through the ranks, setting the stage for a dark era. And the year 1933 marked the beginning of an era that would shake humanity to its core. Adolf Hitler, a name that would soon become synonymous with tyranny, was appointed Chancellor of Germany. But this was merely the first rung of the ladder he intended to climb. In the political arena, Hitler was a cunning manipulator. He used the burning of the Reichstag, Germany's parliament building, as a pretext to pass the Enabling Act. This law effectively dissolved the democratic government and gave Hitler dictatorial powers. His grip on Germany tightened, his power unchecked, his authority unchallenged. Hitler's reign was marked by an aggressive foreign policy, a blatant disregard for international treaties, and the pursuit of Lebensraum, or living space, for the German people. He reintroduced conscription, rebuilt the military, and began a series of annexations that would eventually trigger the Second World War. As Hitler's power grew, so did his persecution of Jews. Concentration camps began to spring up across Germany, places of unspeakable horror where millions would lose their lives. It was the beginning of the Holocaust, a dark chapter in human history that would leave a permanent scar on the world's conscience. By the end of the 1930s, Hitler had absolute controls over Germany, and his ambitions were far from satisfied. His lust for power knew no bounds, and he was willing to plunge the world into war to achieve his goals. World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history, was the direct result of Hitler's insatiable hunger for power. This was a time when Hitler's ambitions turned catastrophic, plunging the world into a devastating conflict that would consume millions of lives. Hitler's aggressive foreign policies and expansionist ideology were the primary causes of the start of World War II. His invasion of Poland in September of 1939 was the tripwire that set off the global conflict, revealing his true intentions to the world. The war years also saw the horrifying peak of Hitler's final solution, the Holocaust. This was a systematic, state-sponsored genocide where 6 million Jews were brutally murdered. This horrific atrocity stands as a chilling testament to the dangers of hatred, bigotry, and racism. As the war raged on, the tide began to turn against Hitler and his Axis allies. Despite mounting losses and dwindling resources, Hitler refused to surrender, dragging Germany and its people down with him. In the final days of the war, holed up in a fortified bunker, Hitler married his longtime lover, Eva Braun. Just a day later, as Allied forces closed in, Hitler and Braun committed suicide, choosing to escape capture and likely trial. Hitler's reign of terror had come to an end, but his actions had forever changed the course of history. Hitler's life ended in a bunker, leaving behind a world scarred by war and genocide. Adolf Hitler, a name synonymous with tyranny and destruction, left an indelible mark on human history. In the aftermath of World War II, the world was left reeling. The Nuremberg trials sought to bring justice to those who had orchestrated such devastation. Hitler's rule had long-lasting effects, not only shaping the political landscape of the 20th century, but also impacting the lives of countless individuals. Hitler's life serves as a grim reminder of the devastation that can be wrought when power falls into the wrong hands.